Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What is up? What is up? What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your man Jelani JB Bodie, host of this thing called the Wait a Minute Show. Yes, sports among other things that we're going to be talking about. But welcome to the show, and relax. I got you for the next few minutes. But before we jump into some items here, get it out the way. Like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, do all that good stuff. Main thing is to subscribe. Follow the show. We get new subscribers, so Trinex, appreciate the follow. Among others that's joining in. So be a part of that. Make any comments, anything that's going on. I definitely will hit you back. So do that. Do that. So let's get into the first thing, and the first thing is DeMar Derozan. DeMar DeRozan, and an iPhone, right? So if you haven't seen the video, go check it out. All you gotta do is Google DeMar DeRozan and probably phone or something like that, and they'll pop up. But DeMar DeRozan sitting there, looked like he's minding his own business, and someone decides to interact with DeMar DeRozan, but he wasn't feeling it. And I understand why he wasn't feeling it, right? I understand DeMar DeRozan, you're an NBA player or celebrity. Certain things, come with it. But we come on, people. We got to really understand that just because somebody is outside, that doesn't mean you just have the right to do whatever. This brother walks up on DeMar, turns on his iPhone. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an iPhone. And let me tell you, when I turn the light on my iPhone, the flashlight, I do like that because that thing is bright. And you can see in the video, it's dark in there. He hits the light. It almost turned on the lights. It looked like they were about to close, because the lights was coming on. That's how bright his iPhone light was. And he puts it in DeMar's face. And DeMar looked like he was trying to read something. And somebody hit you with a light. You just like, bro, what's going on? Right? So I understand why DeMar reacted the way that he reacted. I'm not saying to put your hands on someone, but you can't just go up to just people in general. And just because you are a celebrity, again, that is not the green light. But also, that's not the way to approach someone. If you're going to go up there, talk to him first. Say something to him first. Maybe DeMar might respond back. But hitting somebody in the two eyeballs with your iPhone is not the route to go, because these are the things that can happen when you do stuff like that. So, sir, I need you to do a little bit better job when it comes to when you're interacting with people, right? I don't know if this was mission accomplished, for this brother. I don't know by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm not gonna assume, but all I'm gonna say, you could have, if you're trying to talk to DeMar DeRozan, there's other ways, of approaching him to make it go a little bit, just a tad bit better, right? So, game one of the NBA playoffs have kicked off. All the teams have played. We're going to be in game twos currently as I'm speaking. That's playing. So, a few teams, to talk about. We're not going to talk about all the teams, right? But Lakers, Timberwolves, right? Lakers, Timberwolves. Um, this is what I was talking about with the like. Again, let me preface this. Can I say it? Let me preface this. Hopefully, I'm still saying it right. It's one game. It's the first game. So much can still happen. But what I want to point out is that this is what I was talking about with the Lakers, is that they got pieces. They got to be able to put it together day in and day out. They just wasn't able to do that, and you can't do that against someone like Ant-Man. They're gonna follow that lead. Those Timberwolves are gonna follow the lead of Ant Man, and he don't care where they playing. I mean, we could be on the moon. You still gonna get the same Ant Man. So he's trying to accomplish something, and he's trying to ruin everybody, especially Lakers fan, everybody's first round. And that's how it looked like they came in, and tried to do that. So Lakers still got time, but can't can't have this performance again, because if you do, I think they're in trouble. Pistons, Knicks. Yeah, I'm going to talk about them just for a split second. Detroit had them for 3 quarters, right? Then the fourth quarter started, and everything just started falling apart. So for Detroit, team that's, into the playoffs for the first time, you're learning, on the fly. You're learning things that you can and can't do, but also you can't, have these slip ups and losing the ball and allowing the Knicks to go on 21-0 run. You know, that's not normal. They'll bounce back, but that's a game that they could have had. Definitely was a big game they could have stole from the Knicks, because it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be tough, to beat the New York Knicks. Who else we got? Cleveland took care of business. That's really nothing too big right now. Boston took care of business as well. OKC really took care of business in beating the Grizzlies. But the Warriors beat Houston, and this is going to be an interesting, matchup, because you got these wily vets, right? I'm not surprised that Golden State won. Uh, I talked about how Houston is a young team. They're probably going through their bumps, if you will, with the, learning how to play in the playoffs. And you're going against a team that has three guys, Draymond, Steph, and Jimmy. All of them have multiple final appearances. So this is not just some young or just some inexperienced, team. So I think that is a good matchup. But what I think is the best matchup that will be in the first round is what we saw with the Clippers and the Nuggets. I just truly believe this is going to be, game in, game out between these two teams. We got an overtime, in the first game. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another, maybe two more, out of this matchup. But I love this matchup. We talked about how Jamal Murray is the glue, for this team. You saw that out there. You saw Kawhi. You saw James Harden. Guys after guys, man. This is going to be the best first round matchup. So keep an eye on that. So we got NBA playoffs. We got a little thing called the NFL draft too. That's going to be coming up right around the corner. So what's going to happen? Well, who's going where? Who's all that stuff? We'll find out about that, and then next week, after for people that haven't, after you subscribe, you can find out what we talk about or what we're going to say about the NFL draft next week. But before that, it's one thing I want to say. I got to call Cap on something. Cap. And that is general manager for the New York Giants, talking about the quarterback position not being mandatory, or you know, uh, he used the word mandatory, just that they could go another route. They could go somewhere else. And they could, but I'm calling cap on the mandatory thing because here's the thing. New York is a unique place in itself as far as to play for. It's no other place that's like New York. And for the quarterback position, I should say, you have to have a very strong minded quarterback. You can't just put anybody in there. Looking at this lay of the land, you know, maybe they don't think any of them are strong minded or enough, and they're gonna wait. But don't say it's not mandatory. It is. It is. You look at someone like Eli Manning and how even kill he was through his tenure for the New York Giants. That helped. That was a big, big, big thing for him to have. You look right across, the locker room, or the visiting locker room, or whatever you want to call it, with the New York Jets. It's the same way with the fans. That quarterback position is tough there with the media and with the fans. So if you got the guy that you think can handle that, is absolutely mandatory. I'm just saying, I'm calling cap on the mandatory thing, right? Everybody know you need a quarterback, but it's mandatory to have a very strong minded quarterback in New York. Picks. Who's gonna end up where? We'll find out that, and I'll tell you how I feel about it. But I do think that the Dallas Cowboys are probably really high on Genty, but I really don't think that they're going to make the necessary move to get him. And the reason I say that, I just believe that they think he's going to fall to them, and it's not going to happen because the Chicago Bears are ahead of them, and I think Chicago will pick him up, and Cowboy fans will go crazy because we all know the Cowboys need a running game to help Dak, along with CD Lamb and those other guys that they got on the offensive end. It would be amazing for them to have a running game. What else is in the draft? Travis Hunter. Do I think Travis Hunter is going to end up with Cleveland? I just got this feeling that Cleveland might just flip it on everybody and take Shador uh, at 2. They've said that they would let Travis play corner and wide receiver if they draft him. But I was talking about mandatory quarterback. Look, for the Cleveland Browns, that has been the problem for this team, among other things, but that has definitely been. You thought you had your guy with Deshaun Watson. Everything transpired with it. Obviously, you didn't expect any of that to happen. But ever since then, you've been spinning your wheels with guys in Cleveland. So I just think if you got your guy, or you got a guy that you really can lean on and draft, and that be the guy for the next 5 to 10 years or 8 to 10 years, whatever you want to call it. You got to pull that. Travis Hunter is a very, very, very special talent. So it won't be easy just to move off him, but I wouldn't be surprised if they took Shador. I would not be surprised at all because it seems like Cam Ward is going to be, in Tennessee as well. So this is other teams, to talk about my Lions. Look, go defense. Look, that's all. I think that's all that we talk about with Detroit. But it's going to be interesting just to see also those late round picks as well, as far as like Washington and Philadelphia and Kansas City and so forth. Can they just add to what they got, find another gem to help out with their team to have this late push back into the playoffs or in the NFL trying to get to the Super Bowl. So lot of stuff, that's going on there. But I'm gonna wait until the draft happens and then I'm gonna talk about what's going on. Last thing I'm gonna talk about is college football, right? So last week we were talking about Nico um Iamaleava. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. I'm probably not, and I apologize, Nico. But we're talking about Nico leaving Tennessee and what was going on, why that was happening, and everything, and he ends up at UCLA. So it's a little bit of a head scratcher because of seemed like of all accounts is that he didn't get any more money. Um, the team, let's just be honest, the team is not as good as Tennessee, which I wouldn't. I'm not surprised by that. Far as where we're at as late into going into the season, a lot of everybody, kind of already got their quarterback. So I'm not really going to hold against that. But there were these reports talking about, upgrading Tennessee, upgrading their the reason, this talk was happening because want better wide receiver play or O line and all that stuff, which is a head scratcher to me because you made it to the college football playoffs. This wasn't a team that was at the bottom of the barrel or, bottom of the division or anything like that. They had a really, really good year, and there was some things that they could build off of. So that's a little confusing to me if that is actually, true and actually something that is factual. What I think it is, we won't find out. I just think some people are probably, holding on to some stuff, hiding some stuff. There were talks that it wasn't about money. I'm not buying that. Is that I'm not buying that none of it was about money. Is in this particular era that we're in, you would be crazy if you weren't talking money. The kid, has earned or negotiated, um, a deal to get paid. So nah, I'm not gonna totally believe that. But UCLA, I think it's going to be a tough turnaround. Tough turnaround, but he's going to be the man. I think he's from California as well, so you get to go back home as well. he turns it around. This is probably even better story than at Tennessee to turn the program around, especially a team like UCLA who has had success in the past and had some pretty good quarterbacks. That's come out of there. So I wish nothing but success to Nico. I wish nothing but success to the volunteers. Hopefully, everybody can move on and we can move past this, and we are good. So, speaking of moving, we're gonna move to the end of this. This is your man Jelani JB Bodie. Another episode of the Wait a Minute Show. Make sure subscribe, like I was talking about at the beginning. But also next week, draft talk. Draft talk. The draft will be over. We'll be talking about who landed where. Did I like it? Did I not like it? We'll also be talking about being further into the NBA playoffs and who has solidified themselves or who has made themselves position themselves as a really big potential threat to take this whole thing. So we should be getting close to the second round by then. So I'm gonna holler at y'all later, man. I'm gonna holler. I got two things, as always. Stay positive and push forward. And I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.